Aeschylus, my lord. Of government the properties to unfold would seem in me to affect speech and discourse, since I am put to know that your own science exceeds in that the lists of all advice my strength can give you, then no more remains but that you, to your sufficiency, as your worth is able, and let them work. The nature of our people, our cities' institutions, and the terms for common justice, you're as pregnant in as art and practice hath enriched any that we remember. There is our commission, from which we would not have you warp. Call hither, I say, bid come before us, Angelo. What figure of us, think you, he will bear? For you must know, we have with special soul elected him our absence to supply, lent him our terror, dressed him with our love, and given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it? If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honour, it is Lord Angelo. Look where he comes. Always obedient to your grace's will, I come to know your pleasure. Angelo. There is a kind of character in thy life, that to the observer doth thy history fully unfold. Thyself and thy belongings are not thine own so proper as to waste thyself upon thy virtues, they on thee. Heaven doth with us as we with torches do, not light them for themselves. For if our virtues did not go forth of us, 'twere all alike as if we had them not. Spirits were not finely touched but to fine issues, nor nature never lends the smallest scruple of her excellence, but like a thrifty goddess she determines herself the glory of a creditor, but both thanks and use. But I do bend my speech to one that can my part in him advertise. Hold therefore, Angelo, in our remove be thou at full ourselves. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Old Aeschylus, though first in question, is thy secondary. Take thy commission. Now, good my lord, let there be some more test made of my metal, before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it. No more evasion. We have with a leavened and prepared choice proceeded to you, therefore take your honours. Our haste from hence is of so quick condition that it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned matters of needful value. We shall write to you, as time and our concernings shall importune, how goes with us, and do look to know what doth befall you here. So fare you well. To the hopeful execution do I leave you of your commissions. Yet give leave, my lord, that we may bring you something on the way. My haste may not admit it, nor need you, on mine honour, have to do it with any scruple. Your scope is as mine own, so to enforce or qualify the laws as to your soul seems good. Give me your hand. I'll privily away. I love the people, but I do not like to stage me to their eyes. Though it do well, I do not relish well their loud applause and arves vehement, nor do I think the man of safe discretion that does affect it. Once more, fare you well. The heavens give safety to your purposes. Lead forth and bring you back to happiness. I thank you, fare you well. I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look into the bottom of my place, a power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed. 'Tis so with me. Let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have touching that point. I'll wait upon your honour. Scene 2, a street. If the Duke with the other dukes come not to composition with the King of Hungary, why then all the dukes fall upon the king. Heaven grant us peace, but not the King of Hungary's. Amen. Thou concludest like the sanctimonious pirate that went to sea with the 10 Commandments, but scraped one out of the table. Thou shalt not steal. Aye, that he raised. Why, 'twas a commandment to command the captain and all the rest from their functions. They put forth to steal. There's not a soldier in all of us that, in the thanksgiving before meat, do relish the petition well that prays for peace. I never heard any soldiers dislike it. I believe thee, for I think thou never wast where grace was said. No? 12 times at least. What, in metre, in any proper proportion, or in any language? I think, or in any religion. Why not? Grace is grace, despite of all controversy, as, for example, thou thyself art a wicked villain, despite of all grace. Well, there went but a pair of shears between us. I grant, as there may be between the lists and the velvet. Thou art the list, and thou the velvet. Thou art good velvet. Thou'st a 3-piled piece, I warrant thee. I had as lief been a list of an English kersey, and be as piled as thou art piled for a French velvet. Do I speak feelingly now? I think thou dost, and indeed with most painful feeling of thy speech, I will out of thine own confession learn to begin thy health, but whilst I live, forget to drink after thee. I think I have done myself wrong, have I not? Yes, that thou hast, whether thou art tainted or free. Behold, where Madam Mitigation comes. I have purchased as many diseases under her roof as come to... To what, I pray? Judge. To $3,000 a year. I am more. French crown more. Thou art always figuring diseases in me, but thou art full of error. I am sound. Nay, not as one would say healthily, but so sound as things that are hollow. Thy bones are hollow. Impiety has made a feast of thee. How now? Which of your hips has the most profound sciatica? Oh, well, there's one yonder arrested and carried to prison that was worth 5,000 of you all. Who's that, I pray thee? Marry, sir, that's Claudio, Signor Claudio. Claudio to prison? 'Tis not so. Nay, but I know 'tis so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and which is more, within these 3 days is said to be chopped off. But all this fooling, I wouldn't have it so. Are thou sure of this? I am too sure of it, and it is for getting Madam Julietta with child. Believe me, this may be. He promised to meet me 2 hours since, and he was ever precise in promise-keeping. Besides, you know, it draws something near to the speech we had to such a purpose. But, most of all, agreeing with the proclamation. Away, let's go and learn the truth of it. Thus, what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with poverty, I am custom shrunk. How now? What's the news with you? Yonder man is carried to prison. Oh, what has he done? A woman. But what's his offence? Groping for trouts in a peculiar river. What? Is there a maid with child by him? No, but there's a woman with maid by him. Have you not heard of the proclamation, have you? What proclamation, man? All houses in the suburbs of Vienna must be plucked down. And what shall become of those in the city? They shall stand for seed, had they gone down too, but that a wise burgher put in for them. But shall all our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled down? To the ground, mistress. Why, here's a change indeed in the Commonwealth. What shall become of me? Come, fear not, good counsellors lack no clients. Though you'll change your place, you need not change your trade. I'll be your tapster still. Courage! There will be a pity taken on you, and that you have worn your eyes almost out in the service, you will be considered. What's to do here, Thomas Tapster? Let's withdraw. Here comes Signor Claudio, led by the provost to prison, and there's Madam Juliet. Fellow, why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison where I am committed. I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge. Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offence by weight the words of heaven. On whom it will, it will. On whom it will not, yet still it just. Why? How now, Claudio? Whence comes this restraint? From too much liberty, my Lucio, liberty. A surfeit is the father of much fast. So every scope by the immoderate use turns to restraint. Our natures do pursue like rats that raving down their proper bane a thirsty evil, and when we drink, we die. If he could speak so wisely under an arrest, I would send for certain of my creditors, and yet, to say the truth, I had as lief have the foppery of freedom as the morality of imprisonment. What's thy offence, Claudio? But what but to speak of will defend again? What is murder? No. Lechery? Call it so. Away, sir, you must go. One word, good friend Lucio, a word with you. 100, if they'll do you any good. Is lechery so looked after? Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract I got possession of Julietta's bed. You know the lady, she is fast my wife, save that we do the denunciation lack of outward order. This we came not to, only for propagation of a dower remaining in the coffer of her friends, from whom we thought it meet to hide our love, till time had made them for us. But it chances the stealth of our most mutual entertainment with character too gross is writ on Juliet. With child, perhaps? Unhappily even so, and the new deputy now the Duke, whether it be the fault and glimpse of newness, or whether the body public be a horse whereon the governor doth ride, who newly in the seat that it may know he can command, lets it straight feel the spur, whether the tyranny be his place, or in his eminence that fills it up, I stagger in. But this new governor awakes me all the enrolled penalties, which have, like unscored amour, hung by the wall. So long that 19 zodiacs have gone round, and none of them have been worn, and for a name now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. 'Tis surely for a name. I warrant it is, and thy head stands so tickle on thy shoulders that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send after the Duke and appeal to him. I have done so, but he's not to be found. I prithee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter, and there receive her approbation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state, implore her in my voice that she make friends to the strict deputy. Bid herself assay him. I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is prone and speechless dialect, such as may move men. Besides, she hath prosperous art when she will play with reason and discourse, and well she can persuade. I pray she may, as well for the encouragement of the like, which else would stand under grievous imposition, as for the enjoying of thy life, which I would be sorry should be thus foolishly lost at a game of tic-tac. I'll to her. Thank you, good friend Lucio. Within 2 hours. Come, officer, away. No, Holy Father, throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why, I desire thee to give me sacred harbour, hath a purpose more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth. May your grace speak of it. My holy sir, none better knows than you how I have ever loved the life removed, and held in idle price to haunt assemblies where youth and cost and witless bravery keeps. I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna, and he supposes me travelled to Poland. For so I have strewn it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, pious sir, you will demand of me why I do this? Gladly, my lord. We have strict statutes and most biting laws, the needful bits and curbs to headstrong weeds, which for these 14 years we have let slip, even like an o'ergrown lion in a cave that does not go out to prey. Now, as fond fathers, having bound up the threatening twigs of birch, only to stick it in their children's sight for terror, not to use, in time the rod becomes more mock than feared, so our decrees. Dead to infliction, to themselves are dead, and liberty plucks justice by the nose, the baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum. It rested in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you pleased, and in it you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo. I do fear, too dreadful. Sith 'twas my fault to give the people scope. 'Twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I bid them do. For we bid this be done when evil deeds have their permissive pass, and not the punishment. Therefore, indeed, my father, I have on Angelo imposed the office, who may, in the ambush of my name, strike home, and yet my nature never in the fight to do it in slander. And to behold his sway, I will, as 'twere a brother of your order, visit both prince and people. Therefore, I prithee, supply me with the habit, and instruct me how I may formally, in person, bear me like a true friar. For more reasons for this action, at our more leisure shall I render you. Only this one. Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows, or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. Hence we shall see, if power changes purpose, what our seamers be. Enter Isabella. And have you nuns no further privileges? Are these not large enough? Yes, truly, I speak not as a desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votaries of St. Clair. Ho, peace! Be in this place. Who's that which calls? It is a man's voice, gentle Isabella. Turn you the key, and know his business of him. You may, I may not. You are yet unsworn. When you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. Then, if you speak, you must not show your face. Or, if you show your face, you must not speak. He calls again, I pray you, answer him. Peace and prosperity! Who is that calls? Hail, virgin, if you be, as those dark cheek roses proclaim you are no less. Can you so stead me as bring me to the sight of Isabella, a novice of this place, and the fair sister to her unhappy brother Claudio? Why, her unhappy brother? Let me ask the rather, for now I must make you know that I am Isabella and his sister. Gentle and fair, your brother kindly greets you, not to be weary with you. He's in prison. Woe me, for what? For that which, if myself might be his judge, he should receive his punishment in thanks. He hath got his friend with child. Sir, make me not your story. It's true, I would not, though 'tis my familiar sin with maids to sing the lapwing, and to jest, tongue far from heart, play with all virgins so. I hold you as a thing enskied and sainted by your renouncement, an immortal spirit, and to be talked with in sincerity, as with a saint. You do blaspheme the good in mocking me. Do not believe it. Fewness and truth 'tis thus. Your brother and his lover have embraced all those that feed grow full. As blossoming time that from the seedness the bare fallow brings to teeming foison, even so her plenteous womb expresseth his full tilth and husbandry. Someone with child by him. My cousin Juliet. Is she your cousin? Adoptedly, as schoolmaids change their names by vain though apt affection. She it is. Oh, let him marry her. This is the point. The Duke is very strangely gone from hence, bore many gentlemen, myself being one, in hand, and hope of action, but we do learn that those that know the very nerves of state his givings out were of an infinite distance from his true meant design. Upon this place, and with full line of his authority, governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood is very snow broth, one who never feels the wanton stings and motions of the sense, but doth rebate and blunt his natural edge with profits of the mind, study and fast. He, to give fear to use and liberty, which have for long run by the hideous law as mice by lions, hath picked out an act, under whose heavy sense your brother's life falls into forfeit. He arrests him on it, and follows close the rigour of the state, to make him an example. All hope is gone, unless you have the grace by your fair prayer to soften Angelo, and that's my pith of business twixt you and your poor brother. Does he so seek his life? Hath censured him already, and as I hear, the provost hath a warrant for his execution. Alas, what poor abilities in me to do him good! Say the power you have. My power, alas, I doubt. Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo, and let him learn to know, when maidens sue, men give like gods, but when they weep and kneel, all their petitions are as freely theirs as they themselves would owe them. I'll see what I can do, but speedily I will about it straight. No longer staying, but to give the mother notice of my affair. I humbly thank you. Commend me to my brother. Soon at night I'll send him certain word of my success. I take my leave of you. Good sir, adieu. We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and let it keep one shape, till custom make it their perch and not their terror. Ay, but yet let us be keen, and rather cut a little than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this gentleman who I would save had a most noble father. Let but your honour know, whom I believe to be most straight in virtue, that in the working of your own affections, had time cohered with place, or place with wishing, or that the resolute acting of your blood could have attained the effect of your own purpose, whether you had not some time in your life erred in this point, which now you censure him, and pulled the law upon you? 'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I do not deny the jury, passing on the prisoner's life, may in the sworn 12 have a thief or two guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice seizes, what knows the laws that thieves do pass on thieves? 'Tis very pregnant, the jewel that we find, we stoop and take, because we see it, but what we do not see we tread upon and never think of it. You may not so extenuate his offence, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me, when I, that censure him, do so offend. Let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial. Sir, he must die. Be it as your wisdom will. Where is the provost? Here, if you like it, your honour. See that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. Bring him his confessor, let him be prepared, for that's the utmost of his pilgrimage. Well, heaven forgive him, and forgive us all. Some rise by sin, and some by virtue fall. Some run from breaks of ice, and answer none, and some condemned for a fault alone. Come, bring them away. If this be good people in a commonwealth that do nothing but use their abuses in common houses, I know no law. Bring them away. How now, sir? What's your name, and what's the matter? If it pleases your honour, I am the poor Duke's constable, and my name is Elbow. I do lean upon justice, sir, and I do bring it here before your good honour two notorious benefactors. Benefactors? Well, what benefactors are they? Are they not malefactors? If it please your honour, I do not know well what they are, but precise villains they are, and I am sure of, and void of all profanation in all the world that good Christians ought to have. This comes off well. Here's a wise officer. Go to. What quality are they of? Elbow is your name? Why dost thou not speak, Elbow? He cannot, sir. He's out at elbow. What are you, sir? He, sir, a tapster, sir, parcel board, one that serves a bad woman, whose house, sir, was, as they say, plucked down in the suburbs, and now she professes a hothouse, which I think is a very ill house too. How know you that? My wife, sir, whom I detest before heaven and honour. How, thy wife? Ay, sir, whom I thank heaven in as an honest woman. Dost thou detest her, therefore? I say, sir, I will detest myself also, as well as she, that this house, if it not be a bawd's house, it is a pity of her life, for it is a naughty house. How dost thou know that, constable? Marry, sir, by my wife, who, if she had been a woman cardinally given, might have been accused of fornication, adultery, and all uncleanliness there. By the woman's means? Ay, sir, by Mistress Overdone's means, but as she spit on his face, so she defied him. Sir, if it please your honour, that is not so. Prove it before these varlets here, thou horrible man, prove it. Do you hear how he misplaces? Sir, she came in great with child and longing, saying your honour's reference for stewed prunes, sir, had but two in the house, which at that very distant time stood, as it were, in a fruit dish, a dish of some 3 pence. Your honours, having seen such dishes, they are not china dishes, but very good dishes. Go to. No matter for the dish, sir. No, indeed, sir, not of a pin. So you are therein in the right, but you have the point. As I say, the Mistress Elbow, being, as I say, with child, and being great-bellied, and longing, as I said, for prunes, and having but 2 in the dish, as I said, Master Froth here, this very man, having eaten the rest, as I said, and as I say, paying for them very honestly, for as you know, Master Froth, I would not give you 3 pence again. No, indeed. Very well. You being remembered, cracking the stones of the foresaid prunes. Ay, so I did indeed. Why, very well, I'm telling you, if you be remembered that such a one and such a one were past cure of the thing you wot of, unless they kept very good diet, as I told you. All this is very true. Well then. Come on, you are a tenderness fool for the purpose. What was done to Elbow's wife that he had cause to complain? Come to me, what hast thou done to her? Sir, your honour cannot come to that yet. No, sir, I mean it not. Sir, but you should come to it by your honour's leave, and I beseech you, look into Master Froth here, sir, a man of £80 a year, whose father died at Hallowmas. 'Twas not at Hallowmas, Master Froth, All Hallowed Eve. Yet very well, I hope there be truths, sir, sitting, as I say, in a lower chair. 'Twas in the bunch of grapes, where indeed you have a delight to sit, have you not? I have so, because it is an open room and good for winter. Why, very well then, I hope here be truths. And this will last out a night in Russia. What nights are longest there? I'll take my leave and leave you to the hearing of the cause, hoping you'll find good cause to whip them all. I think no less. Good morrow to your lordship. Now, sir, come on. What was done to Elbow's wife once more? Once, sir? There was nothing done to her once. I beseech you, sir, ask him what this man did to my wife. I beseech you, honour, ask me. Well, sir, what did this gentleman to her? I beseech you, sir, look in the gentleman's face. Good Master Froth, look upon his honour. 'Tis for a good purpose. Doth your honour mark his face? Ay, very well, sir. Nay, I beseech you, mark it well. I do so. Doth your honour see any harm in his face? Why, no. I'll be supposed upon a book his face is the worst thing about him. Good then, if his face be the worst thing about him, how could Master Froth do the constable's wife any harm? I would want to know that of your honour. He's in the right. Constable, what say you to it? First, and like you, the house is a respected house. Next, this is a respected fellow, and his mistress is a respected woman. By this answer, his wife is a more respected person than any of all of us. Varlet, thou liest, wicked varlet. It's time to come to this. She was ever respected with man, woman, or child. She was respected with him before he married with her. Which is the wiser here, justice or iniquity? Is this true? Oh, thou caitiff, oh, thou varlet, oh, thou wicked animal, I respect with her before I was married to her. If I ever was respected with her, or she with me, let not your worship think me the poor Duke's officer. Prove this, thou wicked animal, or I'll have mine action of battery on thee. If he took you a box of the ears, you might have your action of slander too. Marry, I thank your good worship for it. What is your worship's pleasure I shall do with this wicked caitiff? Truly, officer, because he hath some offences in him that thou would discover if thou couldst, let him continue in his courses till thou knowest what they are. Marry, I thank your worship for it. Thou seest, thou wicked varlet, now what's come upon thee. Thou art to continue now. Thou varlet, thou art to continue. Where were you born, friend? Here in Vienna, sir. Are you of 80 pounds a year? Yes, and please you, sir. So, what trade are you of, sir? A tapster, a poor widow's tapster. Your mistress's name? Mistress Overdone. Hath she had any more than one husband? 9, sir, overdone by the last. 9? Come hither to me, Master Froth. Master Froth, I would not have you acquainted with tapsters. They will draw you. Master Froth, you will hang them. Get you gone, and let me hear no more of you. I thank you, your worship, but for mine own part I never come into any room in a tap house but I am drawn in. Well, no more of it, Master Froth. Farewell. Could you hither to me, Master Tapster? What's your name, Master Tapster? Pompey. What else? Bum, sir. Troth, and your bum is the greatest thing about you. So that is in the beastliest sense. You are Pompey the Great. Pompey? Are you partly aboard, Pompey? Howsoever you colour it being a tapster, are you not? Come, tell me truth. It shall be the better for you. Truly, sir, I am a poor fellow that would live. How would you live, Pompey? By being aboard. What do you think of the trade, Pompey? Is it a lawful trade? If the law would allow it, sir. But the law will not allow it, Pompey, nor it shall not be allowed in Venice. Does your worship mean to geld and splay all the youth of the city? No, Pompey. Truly, sir, in my poor opinion, they will to it then. If your worship will take the order for the drabs and the knaves, you need not fear the boards. There are pretty petty orders beginning. I can tell you it is but kneading and hanging. If you heed and hang all that offend that way but for 10 year together, you'll be glad to give out a commission for more heads. If this lord doth hold in Vienna 10 year, I'll rent the fairest house in it after 3d a bay. If you live to see this come to pass, say Pompey told you so. Thank you, good Pompey, and in requital of your prophecy, hark you. I advise you, let me not find you before me again upon any complaint whatsoever. No, not for dwelling where you do. If I do, Pompey, I shall beat you to your tent and prove a shrewd Caesar to you in plain dealing, Pompey. I shall have you whipped. So for this time, Pompey, fare you well. Thank your worship for good counsel, but I shall follow it in the flesh and fortune shall bitter determine. Whip me? No. Let Carmen whip his jade. The valiant heart is not whipped out of this trade. Come hither to me, Master Elbow. Come hither, Master Constable. How long have you been in this place of constable? 7 year and a half, sir. I thought by your readiness in the office you were continued it in some time. You say 7 years together? And a half, sir. Alas, it hath been great pains to you. They do you wrong to put you so oft upon't. Are there not men in your ward sufficient to serve it? Faith, sir, few of them any whit in such matters, as they are chosen and are glad to choose me for them. I do it for some piece of money, and go through with all. Look you bring me the names of some 6 or 7, the most sufficient of your parish. Do your worship's house, sir? To my house. Fare you well. What are clocks, think you? 11, sir. I pray you home to dinner with me. I humbly thank you, sir. It grieves me for the death of Claudio, but there's no remedy. Lord Angelo is severe. It is but needful. Mercy is not itself, and that oft looks so. Pardon is still the nurse of second woe. But yet, poor Claudio, there is no remedy. Come, sir. He's hearing of a cause. He will come straight, and I'll tell him of you. Pray do so. I know his pleasure. Maybe he will relent. Alas, he hath but as offended in a dream, all sects, all ages, smack of his vice, and he to die for it. Now what's the matter, Provost? Is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow? Did I not tell thee yea? Hast thou not order? Why dost thou speak again? Lest I might be too rash, under your good correction, I have seen when, after execution, judgment hath repented o'er his doom. Go to, let that be mine. Do as your office, or give up your place, and you shall be well spared. I crave your honour's pardon. What shall be done, sir, with the groaning Juliet? She's very near her hour. Dispose of her to some more fitter place, and that with speed. Here, sir, is the sister of the man condemned, desire access to you. He hath a sister? Ay, my good lord, a very virtuous maid, and to be shortly of a sisterhood, if not already. Well, let her be admitted. See you the fornicatress be removed. Let her have needful, but not lavish means. There shall be order for it. Stay a little while. You're welcome. What's your will? I am a woeful suitor to your honour. Please but your honour hear me. Well, what's your suit? There is a vice that most I do abhor, and most desire should meet the blow of justice, for which I would not plead, but that I must, for which I must not plead, but that I am at war twixt will and will not. Well, the matter. I have a brother is condemned to die. I do beseech you, let it be his fault, and not my brother. Heaven give thee moving graces. Condemn the fault and not the actor of it? Why, every fault's condemned ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function to find whose fine stands in record, and let it go by the actor. Oh, just but severe law! I had a brother then. Heaven keep your honour. Give not so to him again, entreat him, kneel down before him, hang upon his gown. You are too cold. If you should need a pin, you could not go with more tame a tongue desire it. To him, I say. Must he needs die? Maiden, no remedy. Yes, I do think that you might pardon him, and neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy. I will not do it. But can you, if you would? Look, what I will not, that I cannot do. But might you do it, and do the world no wrong, if so your heart were touched with that remorse as mine is to him? He is sentenced. 'Tis too late. You are too cold. Too late? Why, no. I that do speak a word may call it back again. Well, believe this, no ceremony that to great one longs, nor the king's crown, nor the deputed sword, the marshal's truncheon, nor the judge's robe become them with one half so good a grace as mercy does. If he had been as you, and you as he, you would have slipped like him, but he, like you, would not have been so stern. Pray you be gone. I would to heaven I had your potency, and you were Isabel. Should it then be thus? No, I would tell you what 'twere to be a judge and what a prisoner. Ay, touch him, there's the vein. Your brother is a forfeit of the law, and you but waste your words. Alas, alas, why all the souls that were forfeit once, and he that might the vantage best have look, found out the remedy. How would you be if he, which is the top of judgment, should but judge as you are? Oh, think on that, and mercy then will breathe within your lips like man made new. Be you content, fair maid, it is the law, not I condemn your brother, were he my kinsman, brother, or my son, it should be thus with him, he must die tomorrow. Tomorrow? Tell that sudden, spare him, he is not prepared for death. Even for our kitchens we kill the fowl of season. Shall we serve heaven with less respect than we do minister to our gross selves? Good, good, my lord, bethink you, who is that hath died for his offence? There's many have committed it. Ay, well said. The law hath not been dead, though it hath slept.